Hi, how is it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So today I thought we'll start a series where I put £50 into an account, and the goal is to grow this in profit to enough to buy a funded account to then proceed and eventually get to a payout. Now, the reason I want to do this series is because a lot of people don't always have a lot of money when they start trading, and I want to see if it's possible to start with 50 quid and see if I can go from where it is now to making the profit and then building that into a prop firm and try and scale from there. That's something a lot of people try and do, and so that's what I thought we could do for this series today. So it's going to be live trading, it's going to be account flipping somewhat. So yeah, hopefully you find it good. But let's get over to the charts or MT thingy, and we can take a look and see what there is to trade. So I put it like this, where I'm on the other side of the screen, just so you can kind of see price for the video. Now, in terms of what I'm looking for, obviously we've got things like gold that we could potentially trade, but it is quite scary to trade gold on a small account. As you can see, we've got £56.99. That was just because that was left over from a previous, failed flip. And I just want to see basically what we can do with this amount today. Now, obviously, it's nearly at 9:30, so 9:30 for New York Stock Exchange open. Obviously, it's a bit later in the day for me. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what we might get. Now, I think GU is going to sell here. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to jump in a sell. I don't really know lot sizes for this. So we're just going to start with a small amount and go from there, because we don't want to obviously blow the account. So we're going to put our stops up here. And we'll put our TP around this area here. We can see if we get any profit from this. Now, the goal here isn't to do like a crazy, trade. The goal is to, actually make some normal profits. So we're going to enter two more times here, just because we don't want to have a small win. And just make sure we have this set for all of this. Oh, I can never remember which one I do. I think that's all of them. So that's one SL, two SLs, three SLs. There we go. So that's the trade place now. And this is going to be based off a few things. This is quite a preemptive setup. So essentially, if I pull up the normal charts here, as you can see, if I go here, so this is a trade we had this morning, which we didn't actually take because it wasn't valid. But what I'm looking at now is, as we come into New York, obviously we failed to break this high, and we've now started to break to the downside. So I've expected this retracement to kind of be it, filling in, fair value gaps. And hopefully we now see it come to the downside and start to sell off. If you look at it on the higher time frame as well, you can see obviously we're pretty bearish overall. So, I think it should roll over. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Obviously, we'll probably get some more momentum as we come into New York with the stock exchange opening. But this is what I'm kind of seeing at the moment. We are risking about £8 on this setup, give or take. So I think this is a fairly good trade. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, NFP will be tomorrow, so we might not get loads of movement in New York session, but that's kind of what we're looking for. The whole goal of this trade is to kind of set the foundations, in the sense that we're not looking to make crazy profit now or anything like that. We're just looking to slowly grow the account, because the thing is, if this loses, that's only an £8 loss. That isn't too big of a deal, but you don't want to stick the whole account on the first trade. That would not be a good idea. So as I said, we're being very presumptuous of this trade because it hasn't actually broken structure yet. We're just going off the preempt that it's failed to break the high already, and then we're going to get the New York reversal. That's kind of what we're looking to see as we come into New York. We've got 9 minutes till the stock exchange opens, and that should hopefully kick some more momentum in. We're not going to drop to like the 1 minute or anything like that. I never feel like that's a good idea, but gold is something that I might look at doing once we get the account a little bit bigger. We don't want to be trading gold on 50 odd pounds, because you could make some quickly, but you could also lose quite a bit of profit quickly, so we don't want to be doing that. So we'll see. I think we will move to break even, because at the moment we really want to protect losses, but we'll move to break even if we fail to close below this low. If I mark it on for your guys's, so if we fail to close below this red line, we might look to maybe close, because that's what we basically need to see. That will confirm our sell bias if we can break below that low. But for now, it's just about waiting and seeing what happens. Now, in terms of this challenge, what my thought process is if we can get this to around £100 profit, so that's what, £156.99 total in the account, we can use that profit to then take forwards and purchase a prop firm. Then once we've done that, we can kind of trade a bit more sensibly and not do this, because this is completely against my strategy, trading like this, trading presumptuous, breaks in New York. That's not something I like to do, but this is just about getting the ball rolling and building that profit. So if we can grow this account to £156.99, that £100 we can then take with us to buy a prop firm, and we will still do the flip on the side, and continue to grow it, because you want to maintain a personal account as well. You don't want to just have prop firm accounts. That's very risky. But yeah, we will see what happens on this trade. In terms of lot sizes, I don't really know where we're looking at. Obviously any trade on an account with £50 is a big risk. 1% isn't really feasible to manage risk wise. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But I do hope to see GU sell off after it's failed to break this high. So we shall see. But if not, the loss is not that bad. So it's quite a small loss. I think £8, give or take. So we will see if we get the sell off. And then what we'll do is tomorrow, because this is the first day of the series, tomorrow what we'll do is we will trade London session. That's the session I prefer. So we'll trade London session as well. I think this is a decently placed stop. I'm expecting it might retrace a bit. That's pretty normal. We're severely under risked actually. If you look at the margin level, which is good. So let's see what we do going into the stock exchange. We've got 5 minutes left. Obviously this isn't going to really show or test much around psychology, because I'm not really going to sweat it if I lose £8 on this trade, for example. And vice versa, if this hits TP, this is maybe £11-12 profit. That's not something that is really going to make it difficult psychologically, but as we sort of build up the challenge, that's kind of what we're looking to see. So let's see what happens in the next candle. And you know, worst comes to worst, if it gets really low down, then we'll drop to gold. So got 4 minutes left of the open here, until the open, sorry. I also would recommend you never do this, by the way, where you sit and watch the trade. That can be very detrimental for your, you know, trading experience, because you're, you know, just constantly analyzing, wanting to change it, move your SL, move your TP. The goal is to just leave the trade, let it run. That's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be watching your positions, especially when it's with amounts that might challenge you a bit more psychologically. It can make it a lot harder to sit and watch happen. So that's the other thing I would say as well. Don't do what I'm doing, where I'm sat watching the trade. That's not a good idea. But we're up about, well, we're down now actually in that move there. But we got 2 minutes till the stock exchange open. I wouldn't like to see it, you know, retrace up here. I wouldn't like to see it retrace up here into this point, because we've kind of already tested that. And so if it comes back into this area, then it could very well continue to the upside, which we don't want to see, obviously. Okay, so just coming back to this now, you see we're starting to get a drop to the downside, and we've actually tapped into the low that I want to see it break below. Now, this is kind of the make or break for the trade. If this candle or the next candle, we give it 2 candles normally, neither can break below this red line and close, then it will be a sign to get out the trade. Because if we preempted a sell and it's then not breaking to the downside after failing to break this high here, that is a sign to get out of the trade, which, you know, you don't want to be in. So as you see, we've reacted pretty heavily off it. Obviously this is the first 15-minute candle of the New York Stock Exchange, so I am expecting it to be volatile. But what we're going to be looking for now is the next 2 candles, or within the next 2 candles, to break below. If not, then we will probably close the position for whatever profit we make. So, okay, so as you can see, we failed to break, so we are going to close the position here. When you fail to break a low like that, chances are it's going to continue to the upside, or you just won't have a trade. So today on the account, we lost £2 something, £3, so not that bad. Just under £3, I think. So that was the trade today. Hopefully tomorrow there will be a better setup, but either way, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you in the next episode.